Okay, this is really exciting. I was sitting over here photographing another fledgling, and all of a sudden I heard this crunch, crunch, crunch in the leaves. And I look over, and there is a little barred owl walking along the shore of this pond. And so I came and I sort of got way out in front of it and just let him sort of walk towards me. It's day 2, and after a good hour of searching, I finally found one of the barred owl fledglings. I can't believe just 3 days ago this little owl was sharing a cavity with its sibling, and now it's on its own. It's fledged. So getting 8 to 9 feet off the ground is allowing me to get above the lower canopy, but it's also giving me a better background. If I was shooting from the ground and up at the bird, I'd be getting a lot of bright blue sky. But getting up like this is allowing me to capture a dark green background that I get from the coniferous trees. We found one that gives us a nice green background, and I think we're going to stick with that, and we're just going to be quiet, and hopefully one of the adults will come back to feed it. We're staying way back. The fledgling is actually sleeping right now. That's why we're not photographing anything, because it's quite comfortable, and you know you're not having an impact on that creature if it's falling asleep, if it's acting natural. So that's one of my key tips to any photographer, is that always be quiet and stay back, and try not to walk too much around. Try to minimize your presence in the area, and you'll get a lot more natural shots. Okay, this is really exciting. I was sitting over here photographing another fledgling, and all of a sudden I heard this crunch, crunch, crunch in the leaves. And I look over, and there is a little barred owl walking along the shore of this pond. And so I came and I sort of got way out in front of it and just let him sort of walk towards me. And I took a bunch of shots and did some video. And then he found this fallen tree in the middle of the pond, and he started crawling up. And I sort of prejudged where that little owl would jump up on the log, and I started videoing. I actually got the shot of the owlet jumping up onto the log, and it walked into this branch. Now it's sitting just out here. I don't know if you can see this. Well, can you tell it's middle of May, and it's 7 o'clock, and the black flies are thick. I mean, they are just, you're almost breathing them. They're that thick right now. And fortunately, they don't seem to bother me too much. I think it's because I grew up here. You see that, or I build up an immunity growing up in northern Canada, and when I get bit, I don't show any type of reaction. There's no bite marks. There's nothing. Be it a mosquito or be it a black fly. I'm very fortunate that way, and that's probably why I enjoy it out here. Okay, so I've been studying this little owl, and it's just halfway across a pond, and it's on a fallen tree, and it's climbed up one of the branches. It's trying to get as high as it can. That's what I think, and it's now looking for one of the adults to bring it some food. And I presume that the little owl knows that the adults don't want to land on the ground and feed it, so that's why it's climbing as high as it can. So now it's just waiting. As you can tell, it's getting later in the day, and you can see we have some nice golden light hitting the background. And I'm shooting with a full frame camera and a 500 f4 lens as a fixed focal length, and I'm shooting wide open at f4, trying to soften that background. Now, I just saw one of the adults flying with what appears to be a chipmunk in its talons. I'm guessing it's going to start feeding one of the fledglings, so I'm just getting set up right now. The sun, I'm trying to get the sun so it's at my back so I can get a front lit owl, but unfortunately I have not a good background. It's very bright, but should allow me lots of shutter speed, because I'm guessing this is going to happen quick. The owl might come in fast and just drop off the chipmunk, or it could just stop and tear it into pieces and start feeding it. The depth of field is more critical here. I'm going to need a larger depth of field due to the fact there's going to be 2 owls in this shot, so I'm probably going to shut it down to probably f8 or greater. The little fledgling is really struggling to get up this pine tree. It knows it has to get as high as possible if it wants to get fed and to stay away from predators. We're starting to lose the light now. I'm shooting at 2500 ISO at f4, and I'm guessing I've only got maybe another 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe at most for shooting, and I'll have to head home. That was a fantastic night. Had 3 fledglings, 2 adults. One adult was feeding 2 of the fledglings. Chipmunk, split the chipmunk evenly. Beautiful light, a lot of black flies, but it was well worth the trip. But I'll be looking forward to getting this pack off my back.